It's that time. It's that time to go live. I can't believe it, but I'm back. And I'm shaving. The fresh shave. I haven't had the fresh shave in 5 years. 5 years I haven't had the fresh shave. Let's button that top button. Guys, welcome back to the live stream. Trying to do 12 a month. First 12 Monday through Thursdays of the month, we'll go live. And I'm excited to be back. I got a great lineup of guests here. Oh, it's that time to go live. Got to turn down my own sound. Got a great lineup of guests. Just this week, let me look at my calendar here real quick. Just this week, tonight, Scott Meadows out of Pigeon Forge. And this one's been tagged Winter Stream of All Things Wings. But of course, sometimes we get off subject. More so, we're just talking ball. Tony DeMayo tomorrow night. Retired football coach, head college football coach for 25 years, University of Charleston. Rick Stewart, Wednesday night, and my buddy, Wade DeVries on Thursday night. That's a lineup, man. I've already got the whole month booked. Some other great coaches coming down the line, man, and excited to have them all. Tonight is Scott Meadows, as I said. Guys, welcome. Welcome. Brian Clee in the house, looking youthful, yes. So I said, it's been the first time in 5 years with a clean shave. And yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. For you guys, if you haven't checked in before, if you haven't been here before, we just hang out live for 30 minutes, talk a little ball, talk life, talk coaching in general. And most guys will check in over there. Just check in on the side. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching from. Coach Quiroga in the house. Welcome, Coach Quiroga. Have I got a lineup for you, Coach Q? I got some option guys lined up. And some guys, too, that I think you'd be interested to hear from. But excited to have some of you guys here to help move our conversation along. Hey, I'm not going to spend too long. Again, 30 minutes goes on this little stuff, but 30 minutes goes real fast. Welcome tonight, guys. Tonight's guest, Scott Meadows, Smoking Mirrors Wing Tea. He's the head football coach at Pigeon Forge High School in Tennessee. And our sponsor this month is Coach Stone Football. Thank you, Coach Stone, for sponsoring. Lay a foundation by going back to the basics with Coach Stone Football. Coach Stone has over 15 books available to purchase on Amazon. Want more information about Back to the Basics Football Drill Manual Series and new CSF Coaching Magazine? Then go to his website, CoachStoneFootball.com, or follow him on Twitter at Coach_Stone_MT. Coach Weaver 88, thanks for joining us. Hello, welcome. Glad to have you. Seeing some wing guys in the house. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. I've got some good questions lined up, but guys always ask me when I ask them to come on the show, they're like, what will we talk about? And I kind of have to say, I don't know. We're just going to hang out. And then we'll always land on something. We'll land on football. We'll land on your offense eventually. Snappy. Scott Meadows is very epic. Scott Meadows is epic. Very, very good. Snappy, welcome. Welcome, man. I don't know what POG is or FR is. Jeff Rogers, welcome, coach from Minnesota. So, you see how I got the little Minnesota accent in there on my Minnesota call? Let's get Coach Meadows in here without further ado. How is everybody doing, by the way? Happy New Year to you guys. Anything new to report? Any of you guys getting ready for ball? Quiroga, hopefully we're getting ready for ball. Coach Weaver, did you get a full season in? Rogers, did you guys get your full season in? I know Minnesota, were they one of the states that they were playing and then paused? Or did the governor just shut everything down? Very curious to know. Let's get Coach Meadows in the house. Yes, Ben Johnson, fresh year, fresh shave. That's right. Straight out of the gates. I have a very specific reason why I had to shave. Coach Meadows, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. My name's Nate Albaugh. I haven't met you before. I've watched some of your stuff, though. I'm familiar with your face and your name and your two-time state champions background there because I've seen some videos with you on them lately, man. How have you been?
I've been doing good. Had a great holiday and grandkids are over tonight, and I mean, we're just having a blast.
Now, were you back at school today like us?
No. We don't go back to school until Wednesday. Students come back Thursday and Friday. We're going to split schedule.
Yeah.
And then start everybody back on Monday.
Man, good. Well, Coach Meadows, I know you haven't joined us here before. Since this summer, we've been going live on Monday through Thursday nights. And just recently, I just started doing 12 per month. This month's 12 are called the winter stream of all things wings. So you fit that category very, very well. And we just hang out for 30 minutes. We always try to land on what the main topic is, right? So this month is winged offense. So we'll land on that eventually. Half an hour goes very quickly. But we have very little agenda. We just want to get to know you a little bit. And we are live right now on YouTube. So we've got some guys in the comments section, and we try to balance our conversation between you, our guest, and sometimes I give my opinions. I've coached for 20 years, and then from our guys in the chat as well. So we just try to balance everything nice and neat.
Fantastic. I keep up with you on Twitter, so I've seen a little bit about it.
Well, great to hear, Coach, and we're excited to have you tonight. I have been watching a few of your things over on CoachTube. Some great stuff. The one I just watched was the deep dive into buck sweep. So we're going to get to that.
Okay.
But on Twitter, you're Smoke and Mirrors Wing T. What does that mean to you?
Well, smoke and mirrors to me, we want to give the defense and the opposing team a lot of practice time, just lining up to different formations and motions. But we only run about 6 plays, 6 running plays, I should say. And, the biggest thing is with our formation system and really how this all kind of came about. We were in coaches' meetings, and I said, all right, guys, let's give them a little smoke and mirrors here, doing this, doing that. We're not really doing very much of anything else what we're regularly doing. And so that's how the name kind of came about. And I want the defense and the defensive coordinator to have long nights leading up to our ball game, because I want them to be able to have to line up to all the different formations. And at some point, I feel like we can outflank them with our formation system. And, I think we've got a really good formation system, and we consider that a system. And along with running buck sweep and the other things.
Well, I know how many of you guys in the chat, at what point in the coaches meeting on Sunday night, for us it was Sunday night, so I'll just say Sunday night coaches meeting, we're planning defensively and we're facing a team that's multiple. And eventually the point goes where we have to draw the line of what we're going to actually prepare for. We can't prepare for that. As far as what can make the scout cards. Because you'd have to draw that line. And I heard you in your videos, we can get into X hundreds of formations.
Right.
And no team is going to have their scout team run 100 plays on them that week. It's not even possible. So that is a nightmare. Guys in the chat, more guys checking in. I want to say hi to these guys. Patrick Gannon in the house. Welcome, Patrick Gannon. Can you remind me where you're from? I remember your name, and I can't remember where Patrick Gannon's from. Says Happy New Year. Dom Pasolano out of Westlake High School in Texas. Happy New Year. Andrew Woods looks like a new name. I don't know, Coach. Maybe one of these guys or someone you know. Andrew Woods says Happy New Year. Jeff Rogers says out of Minnesota they got 5 games and 2 rounds of playoffs in. Coach Weaver says he did not coach this year. So, but I know Coach Weaver has been coaching many years out in Ohio. Would love to chat with you sometime, Coach Weaver. What made you take a year off? Coach, so for you guys, you know what? I'm going to come back to the football-specific questions. I had a couple things written down. You're from Pigeon Forge. How long have you coached at Pigeon Forge?
Well, actually, I started here in 2013, and I coached here for 4 years, had a bad health issue, and so I retired for a couple of years. And then my cardiologist told me I could get back in it. And after that, it took another year. Took another year for my wife to okay it, and so then I got back in it. So now I'm back at Pigeon Forge again.
Now, how many of you guys in the chat have been to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or Gatlinburg, Tennessee? We've been a couple times. I can't stay very long. It can be a little chaotic there in Pigeon Forge, Coach. How do you stay away from the chaos?
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest thing for me, whenever my wife and I moved up here, and our whole family, we learned the back roads really, really quick. So, and on the weekends, we just started driving, and started just saw where everything ended up. And because believe me, we actually had, during a ball game, we have this thing here called a rod run, and we have 3 or 4 a year. And one of the big ones is during the fall. And it always, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. And every other year it hits on a home ball game. And our kickoff here in Tennessee, or in East Tennessee, is at 7:30. Well, we go out at 6:20 for pregame, and that team's not there yet. And then at 6:45, they're still not there. Well, we're getting off the field at 5 till 7, and they're still not there. Well, 10 minutes after 7, the police had gone to get them in the traffic and escorted them in to the ball game, and so they could get there in time. And that coach and I, at that particular school, he and I are good friends, and he said, "Is there any way we can warm up, and get our stuff off the bus and warm up and be ready to, give us an extra 15 minutes?" I said, "That's fine with me." And the referee said, "No, it starts at 7:30. That's whenever we're starting
Really?
the ball game." Oh yeah. And,
wow. Because they're from the highway to it can literally stand still.
Oh, it can.
And I'm sure that's what they were stuck in. Can you imagine being in his shoes? Well, we've got Coach Weaver says he's been to Pigeon Forge and has driven by your stadium. And he also says he got out to watch his son play. A very, very reasonable coach. I had this fun question written down. Tell us the most Tennessee thing about your life.
The most Tennessee thing. I've got a dip in right now while I'm talking to you.
That's the most Tennessee thing. Coach, I was watching I laughed so hard at the deep dive into Buck Sweep, and you had thrown up your heavy package, right? And I remember seeing it real fast, and I saw all these letters on it in the middle. And then I watched to the end of the video, and you said, everybody's got those kids on their team. They're just fat. And I went back to your slide, and I saw the FA there in the middle. Those guys were labeled FA. And so I just died laughing. I just thought, yes, that's where they go. And you had like 4 of them in a line. This is where they get to play.
Exactly. They practice. They practice hard, and for what we do in our short yardage stuff there, it's a great place to put them. They go shoe to shoe and bear crawl straight ahead.
You said they bear crawl. Do you literally say bear crawl? Or is that more conceptual, stay low?
No. We
crawl.
Tell them to bear crawl. The center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, they're bear crawling straight ahead. And, and then the tight end and the wing and so forth. Of course, we're unbalanced to one side, and they're just caving down. And it's another good thing because I put my guards in the backfield.
Right.
And I actually tell them, I said, in practice, you're going to get to football. You're in the backfield.
Yeah.
And I've actually got a play or 2 that they actually get the football. No way in the world would I give them the football during the ball game. But in practice, it's like they've, whenever they score, it's like they've
That's right.
scored in the state championship game.
Coach, I love that package. You guys have got to see it. I think that a heavy package is something I've needed to carry, and I haven't really, right? And Coach, just so you know, I've been a wing T guy for much of my life. I'm an assistant now on another staff, and we're not wing T, so currently I'm on hiatus. But I think that heavy package is something I've never really latched onto something I really liked. I've tried a lot of things, but this, man, I loved it. You guys can find it on CoachTube. I linked below this video, you guys. You guys says find Coach Meadows videos here. That's a link to one of his videos, but he's got a ton of stuff on there. I'll tell you, this heavy thing, that was in the deep dive. It was in the buck sweep deep dive. That heavy package, I just love it, Coach. Well, okay. Before I get to more football talk, even though we keep kind of jumping into football talk, have you ever coached in a different sport?
I have. My first year I ever coached, I actually helped coach a ninth grade baseball team. And I stopped playing baseball whenever I was 12, and whenever I was playing in this all-star game and I got beamed in the head, and I thought, this, because in football, I mean, you can take it out on them later on, but you couldn't do anything in baseball. And so the only thing I knew about that was the head coach told me I was the first base coach. He said, just turn and look. I didn't know anything. I was telling him turn and look no matter what. I also coached basketball for 6 years, actually.
Oh, really?
I enjoyed basketball. I did. And one year I coached girls freshman basketball. And if you noticed, I said 1 year, and that was it. That's all I could handle of that. I mean, but I coached basketball for 6 years, loved it. Was an assistant coach. We made it to the Final Four of the state, and I did nothing but motivate. I mean, I can't, I'm not a great football coach, but I definitely was not a great, basketball coach, but I could motivate a little bit.
Well, I love seeing some guys. Sometimes you run into a guy that is equally as into his other sport that he is football, right? Like those guys are out there and you never even hear of the other sport that he coaches, but those guys are out there. Okay, briefly, and I want the 30-second answer to this question. When did you land on the wing T and why? Or wing T-ish, base?
I have been coaching for 32 years and I've been doing the wing T for 31. And so 1 year I went away from the wing T. I wanted to go some more spread stuff, and that was I'm going to say about the 12th or 13th year as a head coach, and just because of personnel. Mm-hmm. And but other than that, I've been a wing T guy, all my life.
Okay, then when did you transition from the under center to more gun stuff?
Well, I became a head coach in 1998, and we were under center for the first 2 years. My third year, I was at a different school, and we had some athletes that were extraordinary, and so we wanted to spread the field with them a little bit, and we started going a little bit of shotgun then in 2000, and then it just kind of. I went to in 2007. I went to the Tony Franklin system, spread, throwing it all over the field and all that sort of thing. And so ever since then, I've just kind of morphed everything with the wing T and the spread, and everything just kind of worked together. And the reason I wanted to do that was simply because, if I'm in the 100 or 900 set, or tight end right, wing right, and spread in left, you had 9 or 10 guys in the box. Well, I wanted my bread and butter. I mean, I live and die by the buck sweep. Is I'm going to spread that. I want to use 53 and a third yard wide field, and I want that defense spread out. If everybody's spreading out, now we're going to have some running lanes to run through. So it's just kind of gradually got to that point and went straight to it. Probably in 2014.
Well, I've got Jeff Rogers in the chat says, way too much offensive talk. Yeah, hey, it is what it is, Coach Rogers. Coach Rogers is defensive coordinator up in Minnesota. And so, hey, put in there what you like to do against wing T stuff. Now, we've had to defend a couple very, very good wing T teams in our area. What I have not had to defend yet is someone who's doing it from the gun style. I haven't had to see it. We just haven't seen it yet. And the more I watch stuff like your stuff, Kenny Simpson stuff, I'm just going, okay, thank goodness nobody's doing this, because it all presents so many difficulties. Coach, let's talk a little bit about this buck sweep. Okay. I don't know the right word to describe it, but you were running buck sweep out of so many different formations at so many different surfaces. It was really impressive to me. Now, as a wing T guy, I was an under center guy for a long time. Pretty much all this time I've spent running wing T, I've been under center. And I just found that, we pretty much only ran buck sweep at a 3-man surface and that wing, right? So it was guard, tackle, tight end, wing every single time. Right. And I was wondering, how difficult is it to teach running it at the different surfaces like that, just that front side? Because I worry about that front side guard's timing being so much different. And what are your thoughts there? Like that?
Well, we've never had a problem with it. And here, let me say this. Anytime that I've taken over another program, I've started under center. Okay. And I try to teach them the basics of it. And then we move that quarterback back, into the gun. And the reason that we didn't have any problems with it is, first of all, I've got 2 outstanding offensive line coaches. Let me say that. Those guys do a tremendous job. And, we've never had a problem with the guards whatsoever. We kind of added a few things that's not on the coach tube that's going to be coming out here soon with the buck sweep, and where we tag a few different things. But, what we saw was this, if I detach that tight end and keep that wing in, or detach the tight end and move the wing out and have 4 wide, had doubles on both sides. If I just bring that wing back down in motion to the wing side, now I've gone in motion across a man. So now the defense is going to have to adjust. And the biggest thing for us is we're wanting to outflank that last man on that line of scrimmage. And what we started seeing was this: if I detach my tight end, okay, then where the wingback was, the defensive end was almost widening to play him like he's the tight end, okay? And so it was too quick of a kick by the guard, okay? So, but if we moved him out wide, then the wingback, I should say, then the defensive end has got to play that 5 technique. Okay, got to play. Now I can bring him down in motion. Now I've got him out flanked, and now we've got a wider kick. And so, plus, I spend a whole lot of time with the quarterbacks because they've got 3 different reads they can do. 3 different places the ball can go, I should say, on every play, or on the buck sweep, or really any play. The RPO, or reading the backside defensive end, or whatever the case is. And it almost looks like a zone, but we're running buck sweep out of it. So, I've even ran quarterback buck sweep. We've had 5 offensive linemen here and had 5 wide out here, and bring somebody back down in motion, but we still got bubble to the right, but quarterback buck sweep to also to the right.
Well, I want to kind of ask a little pigtail question off that. I'm going to check in with my guys in the chat here real quick. Ben Campos in the house. Ben Campos is one of our most regular attendees. Welcome, Coach Campos. He's out of Southern Illinois, Coach. Eric Vaughn in the house saying, Coach Meadows representing for us wing T guys. And Eric Vaughn, I don't know if I know where you're from. Let us know where you're out of. And Jason Eddings checking in, saying hi out of Southern California. Rough life out there. I got 6 inches of snow on the ground. Coach, did you guys get any snow?
Yes, we did. It got bad here. It got bad.
Yeah.
Of course, we're in the Smoky Mountains. It's going to get bad up in the Smokies. But where I live, we got at least 6-7 inches right before Christmas.
Yeah, I tell you what, I made the mistake. I didn't leave enough time to scrape my car this morning, so I was that guy driving my truck with just snow everywhere. Like, I had a little thing I could see through this far. Luckily, I lived pretty much across the street from the school, so I just had to get myself over there and get to work. Coach, here was my concern, and I'm a worrier, Coach. I worry about, what if? And some coaches have just told me, Nate, stop worrying about it. just go coach ball. One thing I worry about when I started to get more multiple was I was going, okay, let's say, for example, you can run buck sweep at, let's just say 30 formations right now. Obviously it's a lot. But let's say I can run it at 30 different things. Well, how do you decide which of those to practice that week? Because each buck sweep variation is this much different, right? And you can only when you have a play script and you don't only run buck sweep, obviously it can only make the play script for practice, team offense time, whatever that is, so many times. So how do you make sure you're practicing all the variations?
Well, the biggest thing is, our practice schedule, I feel like is pretty unique. Also, we have actually a formation period. Okay, and whether it be pre-practice or during our offensive practice, a 5 to 10 minute formation period. Now, in saying that, say we're going to be running buck sweep, and we just introduced it. Say it's day one of fall camp, or whatever the case is. We run it out of one formation, and that's it. And then we start adding to that. And then, for example, if our red twins, we got tight end right, wing right, okay, and twins away, we may go ace, which now we're 4 wide, and I go lift motion by my wing back down. I said, now stop them right there. I said, okay, what formation are we in? They said, well, we're in red twins. I said, exactly. I said, so nothing's changing for you. I'll motion you back down to where you're supposed to be successful in this play. Okay, so I don't want to throw a bunch of different things at them, but, we want to build up to where they understand. And if they don't understand it, we're not going to run it, and we're not going to run that formation. Yeah. Now, with all these different formations, one thing that I will do, this kind of goes back to the defensive coaches kind of messing with them, is, I'll show them all the different formations that we've ran, or I'm sorry, my offensive line coach will give me my offensive formations that we've ran for the last 2-3 games, whatever that particular team has. I'm going to show them, and the first play we're going to run every single day is a brand new formation, but we're going to run buck sweep. Okay. And the reason we want to do that, I want to show them a brand new formation. There's no way they've gone over that formation, the team that we're going to be playing. Okay. So that's going to put a little bit of doubt in the kids' minds on the defensive side. Okay. Well, I've not seen this formation. How we're going to line up to this. Okay. And then, but we're still going to be running our base stuff, and so I don't know if I answered your question or not, but I kind of got off on a tangent there, but the biggest thing is I want to be able to run buck sweep out of every single formation, and I tell the players that, and they know that, because if you ask any of my players right now what's number one play, they'll say 21 and 29, buck sweep right away.
Well, Coach, we are we're winding down now. We're in our last minutes. I'm going to touch on trap when I come back to you. I'm going to check in with my guys in the chat. I need to shout out my sponsor one more time, and then when I come back to you, we're going to close with some thoughts on trap. Out of the gun. Eric Vaughn says, I'm out of Tennessee, and he is the guy that got a hold of, that had reached out to me. He's creating a Wing T War Room podcast. and invited me to be a guest. So great to see Eric Vaughn. And I didn't realize you're out of Tennessee. So awesome. Thank you so much for checking in. He says, of course, he would love to have Coach Meadows on that as well. He says, good dude. Yeah, he's
more than happy to.
Yeah, he's awesome. There you go, Coach Vaughn. Got yourself another guy. Hit him up on Twitter. Smoking Mirrors Wing Tea. And then this guy Snappy keeps talking, but I'm pretty sure he's just trolling us. I just can't imagine like having some random live show up and putting random stuff in, but that's what this guy's doing. Welcome anyway, Snappy. Our sponsor is Coach Stone Football. I'm very grateful for Coach Stone. He's out of Rockford, Illinois. Coaches at Rockford Boylan. Lay a foundation by going back to the basics with Coach Stone Football. Coach Stone has over 15 books available to purchase on Amazon. Want more information about Back to the Basics Football Drill Manual Series and new CSF coaching magazine? Go to his website, CoachStoneFootball.com, or follow him on Twitter at Coach_Stone_MT. Well, fellows, we are winding this down. If you could give us a thumbs up and subscribe, if you haven't subscribed already, we would really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. Of course, we'll be live again tomorrow night and the night after that. Tomorrow night's guest is Tony DeMeo, retired football coach. I think he lives in Pittsburgh now, but he's a head college football coach for 25 years, doing some interesting things with wings out of the gun. I think that a lot of you guys would find interesting. Coach, you said that you run trap out of the gun. I've always wondered, I hear guys, again, I'm not a gun guy. I worry. Having trap is one of the main reasons why I've always stayed under center, because I love it so much. I don't want to do away with it. I see some guys that tell me trap is difficult because it hits slow. And then I listen to you, and I had heard that you run trap out of the gun. And there's actually a team near us that's extremely successful, runs trap out of the gun. How do you get good at running trap out of the gun?
Well, for us, we do it two different ways. One is we'll run it off of our speed sweep motion. So if we'll bring like a wing to the right, we'll bring him in front and run trap right behind it. Okay, that holds the linebackers just a split second. And that's one way. We also have this thing we call Mustang, because what we found was out of the gun, a lot of people ran a 3-4 against us, and they would be slanting that nose to the strong side and, try and take away the trap and so forth. We call it Mustang. So if we go red twins and got tight end wing right, got to offset halfback to the left, we'll run the same side trap. And so now the center just blocks back. Does it hit a little slower? But it probably does. But, we're always going to be reading the backside defensive, one of the defensive ends where the quarterback can also keep it. So if everything does collapse, then we're going to keep it out the back door. So it's been successful for us, and the kids like to run it, and of course my offensive line coaches definitely like to run it, and so but it's just something that we feel like that we've got to do, because we got to be able to hit both strong side and weak side A gaps.
Right, and I think that because under center, when you're running trap, you always have the horizontal threat as well, right, at the same time. Right. And a lot of times out of the gun, when you're just giving it to that guy, you don't, right? It's clear where he's coming. But you said you bring that guy in motion. Now that sweeping action got something to hold, especially the play side linebackers to stretch them.
Exactly.
And then hit trap.
Hit right behind it.
Yes.
Right. So,
I like that. Well, Coach, man, I had a blast getting to know you. We went 3 minutes over, which we're known to do. Guys in the chat, again, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you here tomorrow night, back on the live show. Coach, before we sign off, I do want to tell everybody, again, if you want to see more stuff by Coach Meadows, man, look him up on Twitter, at Smoking Mirrors. If you just type that in, you'll find him. Or you could also find his stuff on CoachTube. There's a link right below this video. Check out what he's up to. Coach Rogers did try to sneak a question in here real quick, and I can't resist. What do you like versus 3-3 stack? Like, what's your first thoughts?
Got to unbalance them. Got to move those backers. We're going to try to move those backers as much as possible and try to unbalance them as much as we can.
So get that stack broken.
Exactly. Got to.
I like that.
First thing we think about. It's the first thing we think about.
I like that. Well, Coach, man, hey, any closing thoughts before we let you go?
No, I appreciate you having me on. I've been a big fan. I've watched your stuff and follow you on Twitter. I really appreciate you having me on.
Man, well, it was the pleasure was all ours, Coach. Yep, Ben Johnson says I can count on death taxes and the chat running over. We do. We go 3 minutes over every time. We can't resist. All right, I'm signing off. Coach, you have a great night. All you guys have a great night. We'll hope to see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.